Hey everyone, just before we get into this video, I just want to say that I am trying out something new for this video. Instead of having my old background, I'm just going to have video game footage and my character stills. See if you guys like that a bit better, just to make it more interesting. Let me know how it goes. I'm not entirely sure. I just decided to experiment, see if you like it. So if you guys could politely tell me how you guys like it, just let me know. And yeah, and with that also, with me showing gameplay here, I also have a gaming channel now, so if you guys want to go subscribe, I will have a YouTube card and I will have a link in the description. This video is long overdue because this con was in May. It was May 28th to May 30th, I believe, or maybe 31st. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure it was just a 3-day con, which didn't matter because I had a great time at it. But I got sidetracked with other things. Like, during the con, I was writing my Furry and Irish Society script, and then I took a little bit of a break in June because things happened and I was just all over the place, and I just wanted a little break off YouTube, and also I was experimenting with some other things too, and then this video just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed, and now I'm finally getting back on track with everything. But hey, we're finally doing it now, and yeah, so Confuzzled 2021, which is really funny about this is I had no idea that this con was going on. I had no idea it was free. I thought you had to pay for it, until I got a tweet in my timeline by Lady Nightlight, who is an Irish fursuit maker, and they're fantastic. You guys should go follow them. And they're like, the con is free, and I'm like, it's a free con? Yes, I'm going. So I went, and it was awesome. It was a virtual convention, by the way, so because it makes sense. Confuzzled is usually held in Birmingham, in England, and I'm Irish. I live in Ireland, so yeah, obviously I'd have to take a plane over if I wanted to go, if it was being held at the actual location. But it was a virtual convention, and anyone could join, except that you had to be over 18. And that made sense because there was 18 plus panels, which I did go to one. I'm not gonna say which one because I don't want to get that personal into that realm of my life. I will be talking about certain things like that would be considered NSFW at one point, but I'm definitely not going to go into what my personal stuff is and interests, just because I'm not that type of person to like kind of push it in your face, really, with that. I'm just kind of like to keep that to myself, usually. I'm not about that life, you know? Kind of want to keep that hidden, and yeah. So, and also because I have a lot of minors watching me, don't really want to talk about it. And if I was to make other NSFW type stuff, I would have it age restricted, or I would have it on a separate YouTube channel. But yeah, so we're not gonna go into that baggage today. And would I talk about it in the future? Maybe, we don't know. But yeah, so without further ado, we're gonna go into the other panels that I went to that were safe for work. Alright, so I didn't get to go to the opening ceremony because I was out at that time, and there was no real panels on the first day that I was really interested, so I didn't really do anything the first day. But on the second day, I went to Shadow Raccoon's YouTuber panel, and because, well, one, I'm a furry YouTuber, and to get advice from another pretty big furry YouTuber would be great. But the one thing that I did underestimate in this panel is that it was for people who are just getting started, so a lot of things I kind of already knew. The panel wasn't that great. It definitely was great for those who were just getting into the furry YouTubing scene, or just YouTube in general scene. But for me, wasn't too great, but I did get a good advice from Shadow Raccoon about thumbnails, which is the one thing that I was struggling with, and getting things into the algorithm and stuff like that. because it was still things that I wasn't too great at, because my thumbnails aren't particularly great, but I feel like they have gotten slightly better since I went to that panel. So yeah, especially my earlier thumbnails, they're not great, but yeah, I did get some of that big good advice, and that was something that I did really like and I did really appreciate, and so I did get something out of it, and that's the thing, was the main part of it, is I did get something from it, and it was really good for those who were just getting into the furry YouTuber scene. From someone who's already been in the YouTube scene for about 5 years now, it definitely, there was a lot of information that I already knew. Then we move on to the third day, and the third day was when I went to the most panels and went to the most events. So I'm gonna get into 2 panels that I was kind of in and out of, because I didn't watch it the whole way through. It was the charity art stream, and that was pretty cool. And seeing all people working on this art piece was great. But the one thing that I do remember from this was baby badgers. Constantly, I would just constantly hear baby badgers. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my god. So now every time I think of that charity art stream, that's all I'm hearing is just, do it for the baby badgers. So yeah, that was great. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay for too long because I had to finish on the script that I was writing. But yeah, at least I remember something from it, and that is the baby badgers. Do it for the baby badgers. And then there was the Antique Furry show, which was really interesting, and I'm really sad that I missed it, because I was in the middle of writing the script, I had just finished it, and there was a panel that I wanted to go to that I will be talking about next, and I was like, okay, what panel is on right now? And it's the Antique Furry show, and there was like, I think 15 minutes left of this panel, and I realized I would have really loved the show. They were showing, like, I think it was a Ukraine version of Winnie the Pooh that was really old, and I was like, that's really fucking cool. And these old furry looking puppets that people had used, I can't remember exactly what they looked like, but from what I remember, they were really fucking creepy, but they were also just really, really cool. Like, learning about older furry things is like one thing that I kind of nerd out over, and I just think it's really cool. So yeah, I really wish I could have been there for like the whole panel, because oh my god, it was, from the things that I seen, it's like, oh my god, I would have fucking loved this panel. So I'm really sad that I really missed that, but I'm hoping the more conventions I go to, there's more panels like that, because I'll be all over that, because I love learning about like fandom history and stuff like that. It's just really interesting to me. And then there was the first science psychology panel. Sadly, I don't remember a lot of things from this panel, because I was really tired for some reason, but there was little things that I did remember. I remember seeing seeing Muttley in there. That was really cool, because you know, sometimes I'd, you know, go and watching these panels on Twitch, there would be some people that I seen from other panels, but to see other Irish furries was always my favorite, so yeah. But yeah, from the first science panel that from what I remember, was but a lot of people get bullied for being a furry. The reason why that they are getting bullied is because people think that they're a zoophile, right, on the whole fetish thing, and that I believe that whole thing, bullying, has kind of changed ever since the Kiro the Wolf situation, because Kiro very, very much tainted our reputation. This is just my analysis from it, because loads of people have talked about the Kiro situation, even with me. Like, people be like, oh yeah, so that Kiro guy, you're one of them? And I'm like, please don't compare me to Kiro, please don't. And I know I'm not alone in that. And it's really sad, you know, especially because so many people would think that we're this disgusting. And then there was the whole thing about zoophiles in the community, and about how that number is indeed reducing. But also I was thinking, but why would a zoophile, you know, just go around saying that they're a zoophile? You know, like, that's obviously, you know, illegal and shit. But in some states in the United States, it's not illegal. Common sense, like, animals can't consent. Why is it being allowed in some states and even some countries? It's just disgusting that animals have to suffer through abuse like that. It's disgusting, but good to know that the number is reducing, in fact. To even self-admitted zoophiles, because there is unfortunately a lot in the community. I don't believe it's as big as zoophiles like to say, but it is very concerning. And there is a lot of self-admitted zoophiles on Twitter, even. And then there's those people who had the podcast about zoophilia. So it doesn't seem that out of the ordinary, but it's still a bit concerning. But yeah, I found that very interesting, but glad to know why the numbers are reducing. If you guys have like a copy of that panel, I don't know if anyone would, please send it to me, because that'd be great. Because this is all coming from memory, because unfortunately I don't really have anything else to back this up. If I can find anything on the First Science page about it, well then, I'll definitely have that link down in the description if you guys want to read about that, because it was very interesting and I very much really liked it. So, yeah. And then we got to my favorite panel, and every other Irish fur also loved this panel, and that was the podcasting with Ace panel, which Ace is from Furry Trash Podcast, and or otherwise known as Boxed Up Adventures on YouTube. I'll put down the Spotify stream link because that's mostly used, but I'm pretty sure it's available on other platforms. And also I'll leave their YouTube channel linked down in the description. Also our collab, because in case you guys don't know, we actually did a collab. If it's out by then, my Furry Trash Podcast episode, I'll have that link down there, and our video club of top 10 underrated furry YouTubers will also be linked down in the description for you guys. But yeah, this was really, really fun, mostly because my favorite thing about this panel was just how the Irish furs just took over the chat. Like, Ace, oh my god, we love you, you're doing great. It was just great, great fun, great crack, and I just have so many good memories of that panel, and so good for Irish furry representation, because there's so many people who be like, wait, the Irish furries exist? I'm like, fuck yeah, we're fucking awesome. Like, I seen Muttley, I seen Skirmisher, I seen, oh my god, did I say that right? I did. I fucked it up on the first try because I'm really bad at pronunciation, so I'm happy about myself. Maybe I did mispronounce it, but you know what? It's fine. It's just a word. It's fine. Yeah, I'm getting defensive over the fact that I can't say words. This is what my life has led me to. I seen Bailey's, I seen so many Irish furs. Lady Nightlight, I seen Lady Nightlight too. It's like, there's another one that I seen. Who was it? Just everyone took over the chat, and it was fantastic. Loved it. It was so good. Also, I seen Anya Awesome as well, and I seen someone else. I can't remember who. Was it the Carlene? Might have been Karu. I can't remember. There was so many people there. I was like, oh my god, everyone's here. Oh my god, it was so cool. It was my favorite panel just because everyone was there and it was fantastic. I think Pascal was there too. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think they're an Irish fur though. But yeah, it was awesome. And yeah, that was my favorite panel. Like, that was just my favorite. It was great. And then it came to the ending ceremony, and it was really funny too, because it's like, haha, post-con depression doesn't exist. I started crying during the ending ceremony. It's like, I don't want this to end. This is so much fun. What the fuck? Like, I was so sad when it ended, and I feel like going to my first virtual con was the one thing that made me start kind of liking the furry fandom again, because over time, I just get frustrated with it, with drama and all of that, but I feel like just with anything, you constantly have to keep falling back in love with something, especially when you have a passion for it, like art or your significant other. You don't just fall in love the first time and be like, yes, we're gonna have a bunch of babies and our life is gonna be like a happily ever after. Like, no. I feel like the fandom is kind of like that in that way. I don't know about anyone else. But yeah, it was really sad when it ended for me. I don't know about anyone else, but yeah, post-con depression does exist. I was really sad when it was over, and it just makes me want an Irish furry convention even more. Please, someone make it fucking happen, because I swear to God, I want it to happen so bad, and I want to go to Irish fur meets now, and oh, it makes me sad now thinking about it. It was just so much fun, and I had like the best time. Also, the moderators, oh my God, they were so good. There was a few trolls that came into the chat, and they just went like that. Like, they didn't even last a minute. All of a sudden, they were kicked out and banned, and that's something I love. The moderators were so good on it too, and yeah, everything was done so great. And yeah, so thanks to the Confuzzled team, you guys did brilliant. And just a shout out to everyone that I mentioned here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me just talking about my first furry convention. Even if it was a virtual con, I still had a lot of fun. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.
You never see it coming.